Hey, Mrs. C.
How you doing, Eddie?
Ain't nothing changed but the weather, you know.
No.
So, what culinary delights will tickle the pickle tonight?
Beetle tarts and chocolate.
Right, okay, no problem.
The payment's due, Chan.
Please, I can't keep doing this.
Now.
Bad guy, right?
Yep.
You come in here again. In fact, you go anywhere in this city preying on innocent people and we will find you and eat both your arms and then both of your legs and then we will eat your face right off your head. Do you understand?
Please.
Yes. So you will be this armless, legless, faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind. Do you feel me?
What the hell are you?
We are Venom. On second thought,
Please.
Well, that was dramatic. Venom definitely made a scene. Still, this is a standard example of a scene, as Kesey described. Things are happening in present time, and we, the audience, see them as they happen. This is an example of story time being equal to discourse time.
What does that mean?
Story is what happens to the characters, and discourse is how the writer presents that information. In the movie scene, the story is that Venom eats a bad guy, and the discourse is that the audience follows Venom and their thoughts as they decide to eat the bad guy. Story time is how long it takes for things to happen to the characters, and discourse time is how much space that information takes up on the page or in the movie. In the Venom clip, these two were equal. We see the actions as they occur, making it a scene. So, what happens when they aren't equal? If the discourse time is shorter than the story time, it's a summary. The writer chooses to give a synopsis of things happening without making the audience sit through the play-by-play. This often happens when the details aren't important, just the overview. For example, in this clip, we are shown that time passes by Simba aging, without having to watch literal years of footage. His growth is summarized because no events significant to the story occurred. The audience can move on to the next relative point. If discourse time is longer than story time, it becomes a stretched scene. Everything is happening in slow motion, often with great detail being put onto the page to make the moment last longer. Here's an example.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do.
The time for these events to take place is shorter than the time it takes for the cops' bullets to reach the group of protagonists, less than a second in story time. However, the scene slows down, expanding the moment to show the audience what Quicksilver is doing when he is moving that fast, making the discourse time about 2 minutes. The same thing can happen on the page. The author can blow up a moment and look at it in great detail, slowing the scene down. This is what Kesey refers to as infolding. Infolding is a writer giving many details about what is happening. Its counterpart is unfolding. This is when a story has a lot of actions, things happening and moving forward. For a better understanding, let's write an example. If we wanted to be unfolding, we would focus on the actions. The fox leapt into the air, flying over the dog that was laying on the ground. The dog stood to give chase, but the fox ran away too fast. Seeing this, the dog resumed its nap. Simple, but you get the idea. We as an audience have little clues as to the smaller details of the scene, but the actions keep the pace of the story fast. This unfolding is an example of a standard scene. If we wanted to instead infold, the scene would play out more like the following. The brown fox, quick and nimble, leapt over the lazy dog. The air of the summer's day ruffled his fur, making him look puffed up with pride. As the fox landed, the dog, fur white with age, realized she had been challenged. She stood, joints aching despite the heat of the sunny weather, and snarled, ready to give chase. However, by the time she got her bearings, the clever creature was gone. She briefly considered following her nose to find him, but sleep called much more sweetly, and so she laid down in the emerald grass once more, sighing with resignation. A lot more details, right? The actions are still there, but are not front and center. This infolding makes the moment stretch, causing the aptly named stretched scene. Now, if we wanted to summarize, we take out as much detail as possible while still getting the point across. The fox jumped over the dog. The details don't matter, and even the actions of summary serve only to support the scene, which is where the story takes place. Knowing the difference between summary and scene, and how much detail to put into a scene, can change the way writers approach a story. I hope you've enjoyed this video on making a scene, and that you can apply this knowledge to your own craft in the future. Thank you for watching!